Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television. Welcome to Asset Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Asset Television. Welcome to the news. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines. Uproar in Senate over CBN governor's admittance into Hallowed chambers. House of Representatives orders upstream and downstream petroleum committees to investigate non-remittances. Yahya Bello to cool off in detention till December 10th when hearing commences. In other news, in detail. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Jamiu Abiola as the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Linguistics and Foreign Matters. Abiola is one of the children of the winner of the 1993 presidential election annulled by General Ibrahim Babangida. He was formally appointed the Special Assistant to the President on special duties in the office of the Vice President. In a statement by Director, Information and Public Relations Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Segun Imohiosen, Abiola's appointment was effective from November 14th, 2024. Now, uproar in Senate as procedural disputes arise over tax reform bills. Some lawmakers protested against a motion to suspend its rules and proceedings to allow the chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Services (FIRS), Zacchaeus Adedeji, and the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, into the Red Chamber. This was after the Senate suspended its rules to admit Adedeji and the consultants into plenary to explain what the tax reform bills entailed. However, before they were admitted, a slight uproar ensued as some lawmakers kicked against the FIRS chairs and the consultants' entry to the chamber. Senators Abdul Ningi and Ali Ndume raised an objection over the Senate's decision to suspend the business of the day and entertain a separate matter in spite of its validity.
Representatives, number I, judges of the Supreme Court, number G, former clerks and former sergeant at arms of the Senate, number H, Secretary to the Government of the Federation while carrying out a message from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Number I, former Speaker and former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Number J, ambassadors and ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Number K, governors of state and former elected governors. Number 8, members of the national legislatures of foreign countries only on official duties. Number N, officers and employees of the Senate in the discharge of their official duties. Number 2, the chamber shall not be granted for any other purpose than the use of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I read through some of these things and I listened to the leader most appropriately. I don't see anywhere whereby the senators should allow these people to come here and make the kind of interactions they so want. However, committees of the Senate and Appropriation can invite for the interaction of this manner, but not the Senate in session. I think our rule does not cover invitation to consultants or any official of government to come and bring the sentence. I so submit.
Mr. President, the order of the business says, number 10, that our business for the day will be based on the order paper. The order paper does not contain this. And for God's sake, This is a very, very, very important matter. We should not in any way try to use the position of the Senate, because the order paper is clear and we have been doing this. I have no problem having them to come here and explain whatever. We have been doing that, but we follow known procedures. And that is, if today this thing has to be taken, you now quickly ask for supplementary order paper that will reflect this. And as you say, this is a very, very important matter. It is not a matter that you just come and tell us after we are doing business of the day. Mr. President, you can have your way, but I will have my say. You will have your way, but I can have my say. You can use the gavel, and I will use my voice. This thing is very sensitive. Our people have been dominated by this matter. When you say it's matter of urgent national importance, yes, we do have matters of urgent national importance. But even those matters normally is referred to the next legislative date or another legislative date. Please, I beg you in the name of God, this matter is very, very important to not only us, but Nigerians that we represent. And we swear by Bible and Holy Quran that will represent the interests of the people. These people partially have spoken. The governors, the National Economic Council, and that you have made your point. Can I respond to you? You can rule me out of. Let me respond.
Well, despite their objections, Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, who presided over plenary session, defended the Senate's actions, dismissing concerns as unnecessary rhetoric.
1B, which the leader came under. Can you read order 1B for me, please? Can you read order 1B? Okay. Order 1B read as follows. In all cases not provided for in this standing order, or by sectional or other orders or practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. This is what we have just done. This is a resolution that was just passed. You needed to have known what we have done. I therefore roll it out of order. 1B.
Well, the heated exchange underscored the growing tension surrounding the tax reform bill, which has drawn widespread public interest and concern over its potential impact on Nigeria's economy. Well, FCT Development Commission bill scales second reading at Senate. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Development Commission bill passed a second reading on Wednesday at the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Wadada Aliyu, highlighted the significant challenges posed by the rapid growth of Abuja as Nigeria's political and economic center on surrounding towns. According to Aliyu, the bill aims to create a specialized commission tasked with managing the development of satellite towns within a 60-kilometer radius of the FCT's borders. The bill received polarized reactions during the debate, with some senators expressing concerns over funding and the potential duplication of efforts with existing agencies. Presiding over plenary, Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, before passing the bill for second reading, stated that the bill will be configured in the committee level before its final passage. Well, the House of Representatives has asked its Committee on Finance, Petroleum, Upstream and Downstream to investigate reports from the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Responsibility Commission alleging that the NNPC withheld 8.48 trillion naira as claimed subsidies for petrol. The House further stated that the investigation will address the NATI report stating that NNPC failed to remit $2 billion in taxes to the federal government. The committees were further directed to verify the total cumulative amount of unremitted revenue from the sale of petrol by the NNPC before 2020 and between 2020 and 2023. This is as the House approved the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper ahead of next week's presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu. MTEF is a multi-year plan for public expenditure that sets targets for budget expenditure and fiscal policy. They are designed to ensure the objectives are respected throughout the budget process. The House of Representatives has resolved to invite the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, and the Chief Executive Officer of Commercial Banks to appear before it to propose solutions to the challenges posed by the lack of documentation of point-of-sale users across the country. The resolution of the House followed the consideration and adoption of a motion sponsored by the member representing Ehime Mbano Uboma Obowo Federal Constituency, Imo State, John Okafor, during Wednesday's plenary. Lobbying his colleagues for support for the motion, the lawmaker identified the increasing challenges associated with the undocumented identities of POS users in Nigeria. According to him, cases of fraudulent activities within the financial system have been established against POS users, adding that there is a necessity to combat such illicit practices and safeguard the integrity of financial transactions within Nigeria. In a shot fired at the Apex Bank, the All Progressives Congress lawmaker expressed what he called irregulatory bias and enforcement challenge towards due process by the relevant regulatory bodies. He called for immediate intervention to avert the ugly situation and shield Nigerians from the hands of criminals through the use of the POS. Well, Justice Marian Aneni of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has ordered the remand of a former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The judge also adjourned till December 10, 2024 to rule on his bail application. Bello and two others, Shoaibu Oricha and Abdulsalam Hudu, are facing 16 counts brought against them by the EFCC. The defendants were accused of conspiracy, criminal breach of trust, and possession of unlawfully obtained property. Justice Aneni fixed the date to rule on the defendant's bail application after taking arguments for and against the bail request by Bello's lawyer, Joseph Daudu, and the prosecution counsel, Kemi Peneiro. Meanwhile, Bello and his co-defendants had earlier pleaded not guilty to the charges when it was read to them. Bello, who had been billed for arraignment since April, presented himself on Tuesday to the EFCC. Justice Aneni adjourned the ruling on the bail application till December 10th and directed that the three defendants should remain in EFCC custody. Meanwhile, Bello's co-defendants Oricha and Hudu had earlier been admitted to administrative bail by the anti-graft agency. Well, Assets Television News will continue shortly after the break. Stay with
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Well, man, thanks for being with us. You are watching the news on Assets Television. The federal government has said that the Rural Emergency Service and Maternal Transportation Initiative targets saving 1.7 million pregnant women in rural areas from maternal death. Representative of the National Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System, Adejoke Dada, said the project being undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Health in collaboration with the World Bank was out to fill the gaps in accessing appropriate, timely and affordable health care by pregnant women. Dada, who spoke during a stakeholders meeting in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, ahead of the project takeoff in January 2025, said the RESMART activities were built to be undertaken in 15 impact project states, including Ekiti. A resource person with NEMSAS, Dr. Prosper Oweregba, said under the RESMART initiative, the World Bank would provide ambulances in different wards in the 15 beneficiary states for emergency transportation of pregnant women and children to primary health care centers and obstetrics and newborn centers. Oweregba said a lot of women die because of lack of access to health care when they are pregnant, adding that the figures for maternal and infant mortality across Nigeria are very high. Well, meanwhile, the FCT Primary Health Care Board has decried the prevalence of malnutrition amongst under 5 children in the FCT, like in most Nigerian states. This, among other things, was the focus at a media briefing of the December 2024 Outbreak Response OBR Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week, themed a package of care for healthy family in the FCT. The Mandate Secretary, Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe, who was, however, represented by the Director, Medical and Diagnostic Department, Dr. Abubakar Amadu, said the rate of stunting is 21.2%, underweight 12.1%, and wasting 3.0%.
Representatives, number I, judges of the Supreme Court, number G, former clerks and former sergeant at arms of the Senate.
The upcoming status outbreak response OBR and maternal newborn health systems and outreach MNCH strategy scheduled to promote the 5th to 9th of December 2024. The MNCHW is a week set aside to deliver a package of key maternal, newborn, and child survival interventions that have been proven to reduce maternal, neonatal, and child mortality. During this round, there will be integration of oral polio vaccination, a key intervention in halting further transmission of circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus in the FCT in particular and Nigeria in general. Approximately
Fashawe, while lauding considerable achievements that have been made through maternal, newborn and child health week to reduce the current indices, further stressed the need to do more to ensure that all eligible children are covered with interventions that will improve their nutritional status.
Inform you that emphasis has shifted from standalone vertical campaigns to a more integrated approach like the MNCH Week, which exposes caregivers and children to key interventions that improve health status and enable them thrive through both the existing health systems and outreach strategy. The
Executive Secretary, Primary Healthcare Board, Rukaya Wamoko, in her welcome address, said, considering what is happening in the country, which FCT is not an exception, integration is key, adding that the intervention for the prevention of maternal morbidity and mortality is free.
The tip of the nose of the people in the community to come and access free intervention is free, I repeat, intervention for the prevention of maternal morbidity and mortality in the nation and FCT.
The MNCHW program is built for 5th to 9th December 2024 across all the 6 area councils of the FCT, and it is expected that there will be an integration of oral polio vaccine aimed at halting further transmission of circulating violence derived poliovirus in FCT in particular and Nigeria in general. Pro-Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa, who was arrested in Finland for alleged terrorism-related activities, is scheduled to face charges in May 2025, according to Finnish authorities. A senior detective superintendent at Finland's National Bureau of Investigation, Mikko Laaksonen, confirmed to the media on Tuesday that the district court had set May 2025 as a deadline for prosecutors to present possible charges against Ekpa. The Finnish government had last week announced the arrest of Ekpa alongside 4 others on suspicion of terror-related activities, including incitement of violence and terrorism financing. Finnish police confirmed that Ekpa, described as the self-proclaimed Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, allegedly used social media to promote violence in the southeast region, targeting civilians and authorities. Well, with that story, we end the news. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.